It's a Deweyi Drive. It's unapologetically Ugandan, and it's a beautiful Wednesday. It started with a very rainy morning, very cold. There's floods all over the city, but hey, here we are. I couldn't. If you told me there would be sun in the afternoon, I swear I wouldn't believe you. But the way it's suddenly so hot. I did see a picture on X that made me happy. You know, Ugandans, we are resilient people despite what's happening. Despite the floods, if you wake up and you're going to find happiness, this couple kept going. There was no stopping. They had to reach and aim for the gate and reach their room. And now problem is the place looks flooded. I don't know the condition of the room. But yeah. Anyhow, I don't know how it was your side. Did you find heavy rains? My guests here could have reached the studio in about 30 minutes from their destination, but they took about 2 hours because of the heavy traffic. I don't know how it's been for you. I know that kids did run really late, especially the kids that go to school quite far from home. My nephews, they stay in Baro and studied Lohana. I think it also took them they really go to school late. They got to school late because of the heavy traffic. Hope yours was okay. It's my nephew Tariq's birthday. Happy birthday, Tariq. He's in Hillside. I hope that he did have a good day. They've told us he's a big boy. We should not be dancing and making noise for him, so we won't. But we wish him the best. And of course, now back to business. Wednesdays are parenting Wednesdays. Today's episode, if it does anything for you, my dear, it should be to inspire you to know that it's possible to pick up on a life after loss. There's a trend going on social media. Useless things I got my child. There's been a lot of deadbeat dads that are being tagged. They tag you all the way to your boss. Now imagine this is a living parent. You're not with them and you're broken. This man, I don't see them. But what if you wake up and suddenly your partner is no more? So today's story is the resilient story of Patrick. Very heartbreaking, but most importantly is how he has beautifully tried to build a life for his daughters. Despite everything that he has gone through, nobody prepares you for a life of loss. When you're getting married, you just plan all the plans for the future and happiness. But of course, Patrick on set is not alone. Today we'll understand the value. I keep telling you on this show, let's work on our relationships. Let's work on our family relationships and grow together. And Patrick still has support from his family. He's joined on set by his big brother, Thomas, whom you will meet. And as Patrick gets to tell us the story of how it's been parenting solo, and the most important thing is, how do you pick up and continue parenting when you lose a partner? And Patrick will be telling us how as a family they have helped him work together. You're welcome, Patrick and Thomas.
Thank you. Thank you, Jackie.
Let's start with Patrick.
My name is Patrick Mugeni.
Yeah.
I'm a director in Eton College. I'm a new school in the East Bugiri district. My story is quite tragic. My wife passed on a year and 3 months now.
Oh.
During child labor. So it's been quite tough, I must say, to adjust to the new normal.
Yeah.
But,
wow.
Yeah.
All right, that is Patrick and Thomas.
Yes, and I'm Thomas Deweyi. I'm Patrick's big brother. We lost our firstborn, so technically I'm now the firstborn of the family. And we've gone through this period of loss in the past year. It's been pretty difficult, but especially from Patrick's point of view, just coping with the whole new situation, but at the same time trying to keep the children developing and continuing to grow. So while they're all grieving, while everybody is grieving, we need to understand that the children need to continue, and for them we need to put on a brave face and look cheerful and be hopeful that there's a life after a tragic event like this.
Wow. If you're just joining us, today we're looking at the resilient story of Patrick Mugeni. He lost his wife in child labor. And he also lost a baby that day. He's going to tell you the details. Let me not say his story. He's present. Patrick, maybe we'll get back to you. Would you share with us the circumstances in which she died?
Yeah, sure. I drove on to the hospital, like I normally did. We went through the necessary checks. On that day, she was complaining of pain on the side of her tummy. So they ran pressure tests, they ran diabetes, they did all the tests. And her pressure was a bit high. So the doctor recommended that we go for a C-section, which I gladly accepted and said, yeah, we need to do it quick so she's out of the pain as quickly as possible. Along the line, somebody changed the whole
plan.
She went through the tests again and said, no, the pressure has stabilized, so I don't see why she should go for cesarean. And I was being asked, what do you think? But
you're not the expert.
I wouldn't know.
You're not a doctor.
All I needed was Aunt to be relieved from
the pain. Yeah.
So they decided to induce her. So during the time we were admitted, we got a room, the sisters came, the mother came by, they encouraged her, said, no, everything will be fine. The doctors told us, no, she has pushed before, she has pushed 3 babies, so it shouldn't be a problem. So I think that's where I lost, when they told me, she can't do it.
Yeah.
I said, well,
she's done it before 3 times.
I didn't think anything of it. Little did I know that was the last time I was going to be talking to Anne. So I leave the hospital at about 7-8. So I left Anne with her sister. Sister is called Faith. She's always been there when Anne is delivering. So the other sister called Rachel took the children. And the mother left the hospital as well. So at about 3 a.m., Faith calls me. And when I received the phone call, she just told me, Patrick, you need to come to the hospital now.
Just that.
My heart sank. I knew it. I just, that feeling came. I knew something
is wrong.
Very wrong. So I thought maybe the baby didn't make it. That's what came to my mind first.
Yeah.
So we reached the hospital. They had rushed her to the theater. But there was no sound coming from, at least you're not hearing a baby crying.
No.
I didn't have the courage to go into the theater.
Yeah.
So the sisters went in, they spoke to the doctor. Then they came out and told me, Anne didn't make it, the baby didn't make it. Just like that. So the grandmother calls my elder child and breaks the news. So your mommy has passed on. She was just point blank.
How old is the girl?
She's 17 now.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Just like that.
So that's, in short, that's what happened.
Wow. Thomas, where did this news find you?
So I was in the UK at that time, and I got a phone call. I believe it was Patrick who just made a quick call and dropped it and said Anne has passed on.
And you're like, what is this?
Yeah, and then I phoned my other brother, Julius, actually, and I think I told him, can you get to the hospital? You want to be with Patrick? Because I don't think I've heard as yet. So I did point him to the hospital and said, go and be with Patrick. And then things moved on from there. They joined, the family joined him then, and yeah, when everybody got told the news, it was quite a shock for all of us. Yeah.
Because the person was not sick.
Was not sick. Very, very cheerful person. Yeah, always looked forward. When I came, she was always there, cheerful, very friendly. And she was gone in an instant.
Wow. If you're just joining the Deweyi Drive, today we're looking at the resilient story of Patrick finding the strength to raise children after loss. And he suddenly has to become, there's nothing like co-parenting now. There's no co-parenting. That's what we used to. Now he's parenting solo. Patrick just told us how the wife passed on. It was a sudden death. But also in there, he mentioned how he had his mother-in-law with him. They took the children. And so now, when do you first meet your children? After the passing of their mom and the baby. And now they know that no one is coming home.
I met the kids because we had a vigil that day. As I went to the village to bury Ethan, was his name, they organized a vigil. So what we decided is we have one vigil at the mother's home. Then the next night was at our residence. Then the third night was in the village. It's the night before the burial. So I met the kids in church the day after all this had happened. It was after the vigil, and there was so much. I was traveling back and forth. So I'd say it's a day after I had passed on when we actually met in church.
You had the baby and the mom in church?
No, the baby had been buried the day before.
So you left the mom in hospital?
Yes. I went ahead to bury the baby while they were organizing and to take her to vigil. Yeah. And I traveled back that night.
How much can a heart take in one day? Sometimes they say that you do not know how strong you are until being strong is the only option you have left. So now we've gone through the burial, we met the children. Do you remember some of the, like now it was you, the children, and so your in-laws and your family. But now despite everyone around you, there was you and the children. Do you remember how you start to think, where do we go from here? Did you come up with a plan? Did you maybe talk to someone of what do we do now?
Yeah, that's where the power of family comes in, especially if you connect with your family very well. I'm blessed to come from a very large family. We're a family of 12 siblings. So everybody was very, very supportive. So we kept talking, where we had built, or where we built. It was a new place, a place you can't leave girls alone without their mother. So I had to make a very hard decision to move out of the house and come closer to a support system. My brothers and sisters were very supportive. They managed to get me a house to live very near because my in-laws literally took over the children.
Wow.
My sister-in-law, the one who follows my late wife, took in all the girls and said, Patrick, you know what?
We'll help you.
For now, we'll handle the children.
Oh.
So I have a home, very close to their home.
Your in-laws.
So I get to see my children every day. I drop them to school, I pick them, we have dinner together. But I have a very powerful support system.
That is real
If I need to travel for work, I can never worry. If I need to, they have really, really been there. The grandmother has been exceptional.
Wow, I wish we did have a picture of Grandma. She deserves to be celebrated. She has really, the family, the unity you see from the sisters and sisters, that all is because of the mother.
Yes, she created an environment
where the family stood by each other. So as we are seeing them on the screen, who is who?
That is
those two on the right are my daughters. And on the very extreme right is Naomi, followed by Maria.
In a black dress. Let's
the one in the black dress is Patrick's first daughter, Annie, and then Chloe is the one on the left.
Yeah. Then the other two are your daughters.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So Thomas, how have you seen Patrick adapt as a solo parent? What qualities have you seen in him that make you feel like he's got this?
I think he's had it all along. It's really it's always been there for everybody to see. He adores his children, and he's just been there for them. He's done everything to make sure that whatever he has done since then is in their best interests. That's why when with the sister-in-laws and the in-laws, they've been fantastic in supporting him.
Such great in-laws.
Without them, it would have been a completely different scenario. So we as a family appreciate the fact that they've taken the children in as their own and just created an environment that makes them feel they miss their mother, but they have
feel
a
at
steady
home.
and they're flourishing, which is a good thing.
Doesn't happen every day. Families usually, when there's death, usually they say death separates.
Yeah.
We usually see a lot of chaos, especially in the African setting. So Patrick, you're really lucky. You married into an organized family, and also your family has stood by you. I mean, you're on the show with your brother. Like, both families are playing their part. But now, we're talking about the new normal now. How we've seen the power of family support for you, your family, and Aunt's family for the children. Then how are you managing stress, and are you able to find some time for self-care?
Yeah, I try to do it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm not with the children, I take some time out, just by myself, maybe sit somewhere and just reminisce and enjoy my time, and just tell myself you need to move on. There are things you can't change. So you have to be strong for the children, otherwise they break down.
Wow.
Because the little girl, the day she wakes up and asks me, when is mommy coming home?
She does. She still doesn't know. She's too young to know.
It's a hard one for me to.
How old
to
is
answer. She's 6.
Oh yeah, 6. She would not understand what death is.
Yeah.
For her mommy went to visit, and then she'll return.
She hopes that the mother will come up one day.
Oh dear. And the good thing is she still sees the same family. So
she sees the sisters, the
clearly,
aunties.
yeah.
It's
only mommy missing.
Yeah.
She will be back. Wow. And what have you learned about yourself in this period that maybe you didn't know you had in you, and you're like, for my children, I've discovered I'm this kind of person?
I think I'm strong-willed. I didn't give up when many people thought I'd give up, and maybe I don't know. Some people respond differently.
Yeah.
I've tried to be strong for the children. I didn't want them to say because Anna's gone, her children aren't going to have a good future, or Patrick is going to end up a drunkard.
Depressed.
You're depressed.
Giving up on life.
Yeah. So I decided to just take it easy and take one day at a time.
Thomas, in what ways have you supported Patrick? Because now you're here.
Yes.
Yeah, you can tell us, this is what I've done. This is how I'm playing my part.
Well, I'll say...
I'm asking so that somebody watching and is wondering, how do I... Because usually when someone has such a loss, you're thinking, how do I even go to them? Yeah. How do I support them? What have you done?
So I'll go back. I'll go back a little bit. I invited Patrick to visit me for 4 years in the UK.
Yeah.
Came and stayed with me all the time. And during that time, obviously, I was looking after him. And since then, since my dad passed on, I felt always that it's my responsibility to look after my youngest siblings who would have benefited from the presence of our dad if he were here. So just in that mode, always been there to try and to help them to get to where they need to get. And as for Patrick, we always got on together. He's always done, if I've asked him to help me do something here, he's always done that for me. So I reciprocate in a way. And even when he wasn't working, didn't have a proper or regular job, I would have assist financially where I could. Things like housing, all this just to help him
emotionally pick up,
take the stress of the situation. Yeah, and it's an ongoing thing. We just work together. So the school that we're developing together again, we brought Patrick in so he can build this, because I'm not here, so we can build the school to a point where it's viable. So these are the things we're trying to do to recover from that situation.
Wow. Yeah. Interesting. Patrick, what do you feel has been your biggest challenge since you lost Aunt?
I miss the normal family setting. Come home, Anne is home. Sorry, getting emotional.
Yeah, it's okay. You're watching the Deweyi Drive. If you're just joining us today, we are learning from the resilient story of Patrick Mugeni. He is a widower who lost his wife Anne in labor. She was given back to his firstborn son, whom he lost, but she did leave behind 3 beautiful daughters. And most importantly, Aunt's family has walked with Patrick all the way. And today we're hosting Patrick to celebrate the life of Aunt. But most importantly, we have so many men, young men like Patrick, who have lost their wives and they're solo parents suddenly. And what do you do? One of the most important lessons we have learned today, Patrick has the support of his brother, even on the show here, Thomas, his big brother. We've also seen the support of his wife, Anne. The power of family, because like Thomas said, emotionally, you can't go to work. You need the break. His family was there. Okay, what do we do? Get you staying in-laws so you can watch your kids and be involved in their lives. For me, so far, that is my biggest stake. The power of family, the power of support systems and friends. And I do know that Patrick is quite a social person. He's also had good friends that show him love, that have walked with him. But most importantly, with all these things are happening, there is family to back him up. So if you're just joining us, you have a message for Patrick, leave a message on the YouTube channel. Remember to subscribe and also do share. Do you have a friend that is dealing with loss, that has just lost a partner? Please go ahead and share the link with them so they can watch this show and learn from Patrick's experience. He's sharing with us how he has been able to pick up. Maybe in your family, you lost a sister and she left kids and you didn't know how to support the husband. I have known quite, even growing up in our family, we've seen people pass on and they were left alone because all people will do is come and check on you. How are you? Okay, bye. But what this family did for me is, I think there's a lot to learn here. They took the kids because the kids needed to continue life, and also to allow their father to mourn, but also to allow their father to stay like the son-in-law he was, so that his life didn't suddenly get a shift. I'll go back to Thomas, his brother, who is right here with us on set, and I am grateful that he did not come alone. Thomas, how has your relationship with Patrick and his daughters evolved since Anne's passing? Do you feel like you are now stronger, like you have purpose to build a bond?
I mean, we were very strong anyways. Then Anne was a great friend to me.
Yeah.
She was very supportive when I started the school, and was very involved. So, and the children, and every time I come, I actually stay with them or near them. So really, it's to me, it's like my other family in Uganda. When I come home, I'm always with Patrick and the children. We go out together and all that. So it's quite good, yeah. What I also wanted to add on really is, for Patrick's point of view, the circle of friends that he's had. I think I just wanted to shout out to them that they have been fantastic in just helping Patrick to move on. They've always been there, always supportive. If there's anything that needs to be done, they'll always do it in a group, and they're fantastic. So while the family have been great, have been fantastic, really the friends as well, who have brought the whole thing together. So it's the friends and family. Yeah. Really fantastic.
You know, many times when people get married, they abandon family, they abandon friendships. But if you know, like Thomas was saying, for you to have great friends that stand with you, it's because you have been standing with them. And when you hear people talk about a particular person and why their friends stand by them, it's because that person is also a good friend that stands by them. So when it was Patrick's turn to need support, definitely, my understanding is people would definitely be there for you as well. And Patrick, are there any rituals you have adopted now as a single dad household for you and your children, maybe? Just to
not quite.
Not quite. They're usually with Jaja.
Yeah, at school. Once I do not school, I pick them, have dinner together, go to bed.
At least you try not to miss dinner.
Yeah.
So, what's the one thing you miss about Anne the most?
Like I was saying before,
I
miss coming home to a warm house. You know, she's there, she's prepared a very nice meal, she's taking care of the kids, she's doing homework with them. You know, just that normal family setting. Yeah.
What advice would you give to a single parent who has just lost a partner as well?
It's just be strong.
Take one day at a time.
There's no formula. You just have to deal with it. And also, I think it also depends on how you related with your partner anyway. So all that affects you in the long run.
Thomas, from your experience with your brother, I know there's always a first for most of us. Probably this was your first experience to have a brother lose a partner and he's young.
Yes.
What have you learned that if somebody's watching today and they're like, how do I support my brother, my sons? Because these days online you even have parents watching, looking for answers. And especially for me, information is usually not from my Ugandan setting. You find most information is given by people from other cultures. But now you're lucky. This show is unapologetically Ugandan. What have you learned that you'd feel like, hey, if your brother lost a wife, maybe support them like this. Maybe instead of doing this, I think you should do this now. Yeah. Some practical tips.
I think it's rather than prescribe what people do. I think you should go with your heart. Once somebody's in that situation, I think you should feel from your heart what is required. And don't hold back. Do what you need to do, and understand that that person who has lost somebody is not in the right place. They cannot organize things. They cannot, because they're grieving, much as everybody else is grieving. So we just try and take as much off their plate as possible during that time to enable them to begin the process of grieving, really, and then recovery. So that's what I would say, really. I don't think that you can prescribe it. I think just you should do what your heart says you should do. Yeah.
Just follow your heart.
Follow your heart.
It's not a one size fits all. And Patrick, for people that, first of all, I'm really thankful for your courage to share with us your story. And it's not an easy thing to do, but I do hope that Anne and your children, especially your children, they will grow up and keep watching the show and know that, you loved them and their mom and just celebrate with them. What's the one thing you hope somebody watches your show today takes away, especially if they are dealing with a similar situation?
Just try and be there for your children. I know it's hard for men, but you need to show them the love, the courage, the direction. Just try and keep them in a proper family setting. And teach them good values.
It's very confusing for the children at this point. So you need, as Patrick says, to be there, just to reassure them that things might have changed, but
I'm here for you.
You're going to be here for them. Yeah, so that's it.
Well, I'm going to ask a hard one. Would you consider, I know that you loved your wife very, very much. Very, very much. Of course, that's why we're even doing this show. I mean, you wouldn't do a show if you didn't love someone, because, you want to forget them and, you're moving life, of course. Would you consider remarrying?
Well, at the moment, I would say no. I think still too soon. Maybe with time. The kids are still young, so I wouldn't want anything to spoil what is already there at the moment.
Oh, so cute. That little girl.
Young.
She's the last born.
Yeah.
Sorry, interjected by the beauty of this baby.
It's a hard one, but who knows? Maybe in the future. Yeah.
What are some of the key things that have, on this journey of trying to live in the new normal, that you have seen and you're like just lessons you have learned? Some lessons you have learned on this journey, just living without, they could be, maybe if she was around, this is what I would do different. Just key things, key lessons.
Yeah, I think we need to value our spouses, love them every day. You just never know when they're going to go. And you only appreciate somebody when they're gone. You know the power of that person. So for those who are lucky enough to still love their spouses, please love your spouses. Work out your differences as quickly as possible, because you just never know.
What does life look for you like now? How do you find joy?
Life is I'm still in the middle. I'm still like a balloon. It's still difficult to figure out where my life is at the moment, but I'm sure with time I will figure that out.
But also, I think the kids will anchor him a little bit to a point. So, in the sense, he's trying to rebuild the rest of his life around the children, and that takes time. I think eventually he'll get there. But for now, it's really the children are the most important thing. Make sure that they get to the end of their education.
How would you want Anne to be remembered, Patrick?
Anne had a very big soul. She was very kind, very welcoming, very warm. Those are the memories most people have.
Yeah, Thomas keeps saying she was so kind, she was so welcoming.
And she was real, down to earth.
Whenever I left, she would pack my suitcase for me.
And this time, who packs for you now?
Well, there's one of her sisters now.
Oh,
Take it over the road. But she would fold my clothes, so I pack them. And it was fantastic. She was always there when I was leaving to get me the stuff I needed to take away and all that. Simple, small things, but
you still haven't forgotten how they made you feel. They brought you joy.
Yeah.
Speaking about joy, what brings you joy now, Patrick? Yeah, I know it's a hard one.
But spending time with my family, my friends, my children, of course. I travel a lot now because of the school, so that gives me a little peace. Yeah.
Someone who is struggling through grief and loss, what's the most important lesson you have learned that you think, if you're finding it so hard,
you need to try not to be alone. Try and go out more. Hang out with people. Be happy. Try. It's not easy, but don't lock yourself in the house alone. You get depressed.
Yeah. It's already 1 year.
And 3 months.
At 3 months. Yeah, I like
You see that photo?
Yeah.
Why I shared this photo? A friend of mine had just lost his wife a month before Anne passed on. So I'd gone to bury him.
You had gone to support him?
Yes.
And you didn't know?
I didn't know.
That you would be the next.
I would be the next. So these guys were at my place a month after burying Anne.
The same crew?
Yes.
See this life.
That's why I shared that photo.
It's a very significant photo. What? Where was this?
What is in Busia?
Hey, you had buried in Busia and still went back?
His wife, he's from Busia as well.
Yeah, he's from Busia as well.
Yeah.
So you came to support him?
Yes.
Not knowing that...
Yeah, a month later we'll be regrouping.
This life. I think there's a lot to learn from Patrick's story. Imagine he went to support someone. Because he didn't have a sick wife, you can't say she had cancer, like this disease we know anytime. But just being there for people, because you never know when you two are going to need the people's support. And there he was. What are you most proud of on this journey as a father? You've done a journey 1 year, 3 months, solo. Yes, I know there's support, but there are things within you that you're now doing.
I'm proud that I've kept my head up. I haven't. It's been tough, but I'm proud to have wonderful friends around me, and I must say my in-laws have done me really, really good. I don't know what I'd do without them.
I know.
Yeah.
I think before I ask my next question, I should ask Thomas. Thomas, for me in my culture, in Bugiso, in a situation like Patrick's, yes, like Patrick's, they would give a wife. And you're like, so have you guys considered going back? Because these people, they have really made life livable.
They have, but this I think is a complex situation.
I
but
think
from our point of view, I'll just say, from our family, the way our dad brought us up, he didn't believe in that.
No, we are not saying inherit.
No.
We are saying, go and ask nice. Have you considered talking to your brother? Because in this point, you also have to think for him.
Yeah.
Because now he will not think.
Yeah.
His son we are supporting.
No, I think for him now, we do talk about it occasionally.
Yeah.
In an indirect way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to find out,
think it
is he
would be-
ready? Is he ready? And yeah,
Eventually.
I would personally, obviously, encourage him to, at some point.
Because these people.
Yeah. So, but it's a personal thing.
Yeah, it's not an easy thing to say, but at least we've passed it in passing. I hope Mama is watching, so that as Patrick is still not sure what to do, they can. We can continue to support this son because clearly his life has been around these people, and they've also really stood by him, and that's part of healing. I mean,
Yeah. For sure.
She suggested it at some point. So
she did, yeah. So I think you
with time,
should think about it.
just need
You
to
think about
manage how to-
Because, yeah.
I think it's just about being ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take your
So,
time.
yeah.
But no, it actually just came to mind seeing how they have gone over and beyond just to make sure that you don't lose it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
this what you went through and the way you narrated it, you can lose your head.
Oh yes.
You can lose your head, you know? So, what are your hopes and dreams now for the future? Let's talk about your kids.
Just,
What do you want to do with
I
them?
just
Where do you want to travel
I
with
just
them?
want to see my kids through school, see them start their own families, and maybe I'll travel the world wherever they'll be. Maybe I hope they'll join Tom
In the UK.
for greener pastures or wherever. So that's my dream.
Your oldest is 17, 18 now?
17.
17. Thomas, your oldest is how old?
30,
30.
31, I would say.
31.
Now. Yeah.
So, Patrick, we hope that you also get to see them turn 31 and above.
I pray so.
And the time they're 30, Uncle Thomas will probably be here retired.
Mhm.
Yeah?
Oh yes.
Back to Uganda
30,
retired.
yeah.
And be even, and you know, if he's here, it's even easy, I think. Because then he already has a network for them to settle there. Yeah? That's interesting. So, we've seen how important it is to find a space. Oh, I love these beautiful pictures. I love how, if you're joining us, we're looking at Patrick's story, not just for the sake of sharing the story, but for anyone to know that, you know, loss or adversity is not just losing a wife. Like Patrick in this case lost a wife. But you could have lost your entire business suddenly. And probably all your savings. What do you do? What do you do? Like, dealing with loss. Loss that you do not know how to overcome. And maybe, I hope this show gives you hope. You see how he's a dad who is just saying, now I'm living for my kids. He had to find something to give him hope, to keep living, to keep going, you know. And I really appreciate that he allowed to share with you, other parents. And of course for Thomas, who is here on the show with him. How much time do we have, Stuart, on the show? Okay, as we find out how much time we have, that is the beautiful Anne that we're doing this show in memory of. She did leave a strong system for her husband without knowing. It's very important. So one thing I have picked from your story, Patrick, is even as wives or husbands, we should strive to make our families friends. So when there is a good relationship, because then you do not know when you're not here, these people are going to keep your system moving, and they'll carry it on. Because I've seen where there's a lot of disorder, everybody breaks up, the kids grow up in a lot of anger, and at some point, I've seen many people grow up, like at my age, and they're looking for their relatives. Because, you know, in our mom passed, our aunties left, or our father, they totally did not see eye to eye. But to avoid such things, to leave a good system, for your children to grow up with love, with, you know, without losing themselves. You know, I appreciate what that family has done, but also I think there's a lot of learning for us to do.
That was her birthday, a month after the mother had passed.
Oh, sweet baby girl.
Yeah.
And this, you just have to continue.
Yeah.
You cannot tell her that there's no party this time. Oh my goodness. Wow. So what message do you hope this show, when your daughters watch it, what message do you hope it conveys to them?
That They just have to be strong. They have to know I love their mom. I did my best as a father. I'll continue to be there for them. And they can always come to me if they want to share anything with me.
Wow.
And they should emulate their mother. She was a woman of grace, dignity.
Wow. Such powerful words. It depends, because what kind of wife are you right now? If your husband lost you, would they speak highly of you? We've seen husbands who lose and they're like, because of how they have been treated in this marriage. They found no joy, they found no peace, and the in-laws are like, whew, quickly, they really want nothing to do with the family. So I hope that as we are watching these stories, we are not just saying, may this kind of love locate me, the way we usually do. Let's also, are we being people who will be honored and respected even after we are gone, that your partner will speak about you with respect and with love, and your brother-in-law like Thomas would just remember you and speak of you with so much respect. Because you know, when you're not here, nobody's scared. They'll say how they felt exactly about you. So Thomas, for Anne's children watching this show, what's your message for them? I know there's a 17-year-old, she's very understanding.
Yes.
She would get every word from the heart.
Yeah. My message is, as an uncle, I'll always be there for them as well. And they've got my number if they're struggling with anything. If their dad is struggling with anything and they feel he needs support, which he's not asking for, they can reach out to me as well. So it's things like just knowing that I'm there for them, really.
Patrick, what are some of the things you wish you had known earlier? Of course, because now you've done the solo parenting here. I know why I say solo parenting. I acknowledge your mother-in-law and your sisters-in-law, but I mean there are moments for you alone and your children. Are there things you're learning now that you're like, maybe if I had known this earlier?
From the back of my head, no. I think everything
is flowing, right?
It's flowing the way it should be flowing, yeah.
Have you had to have difficult conversations with them, with the children?
No, not really.
No.
No.
This pardon. Huh?
No, we haven't got to the point yet.
So another thing that I see from this story, let's take pictures, people, let's take pictures, because one day we will not have anything to show, because these are the memories now we have. We talk about Anne and we share her pictures like she's living today, and we're not able to have any more pictures of her. So, you know, the people keep saying, I don't want pictures, don't take my pictures. You people, these things we take for granted in life. At some point, because I'm sure every picture you've shared here is a story. Yeah. So where was that? Oh, is this you and Anya?
That was, yeah.
Tell us. That
was...
you found this Kagale model like this?
Yes. 24 years ago. Yeah, so...
From school.
Yeah.
So this was high school love?
Yes.
What were you guys doing there?
I don't know what she was asking me for. That was actually at her mother's house. Yeah.
Her mother had gone now?
I'd gone to visit. No, her mother was there. So I was waiting for a meal, I think. I'd visited her.
Which you still do to this day.
Which he still does. He goes and waits for the meal at Jaja's. Wow.
Georgia won't let him sleep without passing by for a meal.
Can you imagine? This was a high school love.
Yes.
So you were married for how long? 24 years?
We were together for 24 years from that time. 24
years?
Yeah. You
dated 24 years. 2 decades. You are about to hit 3 decades.
Yeah.
The devil is a lie. So you see, patience, people. People want to find an accomplished man. See how these people were together so young. And they grew, started a family. They did so much together. Stuart, how much time do we have? Yeah, well, we still have time. Oh my God, okay. Let's keep going. Okay. So we really have spoken about, we really have spoken about we have spoken about them growing up together. We've seen some pictures. I was telling you guys pictures. Imagine you will never go back to 24 years ago and see how beautiful that picture was. The memory of this is how we were. We were young then, and then we got married. So, Thomas, I think now is your time to shine. Now you can tell us, apart from the aunt that packed you things, and what other ways would you want us to remember Anne? Like, because what I've noticed is sometimes as families we come up with ideas in memory of celebrating our person. What would you like to see done for Anne in memory?
In memory. Okay, so when we started the school, Anne was part of the conversation, and she was inspirational really in directing us, in targeting us into what we needed to do. So in terms of she wanted to set up and run the school canteen and all that. So
she was a hard working woman.
So what we've done in our memory, we want to set up that canteen, and whatever comes out of it to be in memory for the use of the children, just to help them through this period. So as the school grows, we just want to be able to say, okay, Anne was very, very central to this project. She wasn't here to see it through.
Oh, that is Anne at the site.
Yes, on site.
She wasn't here to see it through, but we want to keep her as part of, as the school grows bigger, her name to be part of it, and her children to know that when we started it, she was there. She was, so that's it.
Patrick, would you like to top up in memory of Anne what you would love to be done as a celebration of her life?
What we're currently doing is every year on her birthday, we have a meal, go out for a dinner with the children, and just remember her, cut a cake, and keep her going.
Every on her birthday,
yes.
You go to the school.
No, we do it at home.
At home.
Yeah, but
you keep celebrating the birthdays as a family.
So we continue to do that. Yeah, every day on her birthday.
Wow.
And on the day she passed away, so it's close.
So you do that day. It's close to her birthday.
Yeah, she was born on 12th July. She passed on 14th July.
What?
So yeah. So that's how we celebrate.
I love
every
that.
year. Yeah.
Wow. This is beautiful. I'm sure she looks up and smiles. So tell us more about the school that you're building. You know why I'm impressed? Anne was not from your village, was she?
No, sure.
Where's she from?
She was from Luero.
And she came and she supported you to start a school in Busia.
Yes, correct.
And she was part of the journey. And she was buried there.
Yes.
She got married and got married. She was here.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, so this is still our little girl? Was that our little girl on the screen? Okay. Is there anything else you want us to talk about and that you maybe remember and we didn't have a chance to?
No, I think pretty much we've said it. Maybe I just want to say thank you to my friends, thank you to my family. There's a larger group that's not here. I would like to appreciate every one of them, all my family members. I have family members abroad who have really been supportive. They're not here today, my sisters. My brothers and sisters here, I really appreciate you. I never take you for granted. They've continued to be there for me. My friends, I can't mention everyone, but they've been there for me.
Thomas?
Yeah, I think just to say that Anne brought a lot of joy and happiness into the family, and we miss her dearly, and we pray that the children will grow up into upstanding citizens and grow up in her image, and we just hold up Patrick that he will be strong and he will continue to fight the fight, although he's on his own, and when the right time comes, hopefully he'll find happiness again, meet somebody and be happy, and I'm sure everybody will support that. Children will love that too.
Yeah. Wow. I do hope that there was a lot of learning for you from the story of Patrick. For me, there's a lot, even the things that you maybe could have thought were basic. Like I told you, from taking pictures of happy moments. There are so many. There's that song that If Tomorrow Never Comes, you know that song? You should know how much if tomorrow never comes. Yeah, if tomorrow never comes, you should at least have moments of today, memories of today, the pictures, the joys, and you see how you also let's purpose to be kind. Many women, we get married and we say, this is my husband. When his relatives call, you take the phone. What do you want to say? You become his PA. You become everything. You don't want anyone around him. But when you, instead, how about we learn from Anne. There's a lot to learn. As the modern wife now, Anne was the Proverbs 13 woman, they say. The one that was building her family, but not just her. The fact that her family is here with Patrick, it means she gave them time, but balanced it. So for me, I feel there are lessons to also learn as wives, as husbands. How we treat our wives is how their families will treat us. If you're the kind that was you're beating your wife, you're a bad husband, you're violent, your in-laws are not going to want anything to do with it. In fact, you'd be in jail because you're a bad husband. But we can keep relationships for the sake of our children, for generations to come. Even if Patrick remarried elsewhere, this is already his family now. These people are never going to go away from his life, and they're here to stay. And also thank you, Thomas, for being a good brother. You even came all the way and gave us time on the show. You've stood with your brother all through and through, and he said it on the show that he does not take any of you for granted. Yeah. So any final words for your audience, for your family, for your friends on the show?
Patrick. Thank you, team, as well. Thank you for hosting us. Final words. We're setting up a school, and please give us your children. We'll take care of them.
The school in Bujiri?
It's in Bujiri, yes.
Is it a primary school, a nursery
school? It's
a
secondary school with a boarding section. We started with senior 1 last year. Right now we have senior 2. Our numbers have tripled.
Oh.
So next year we are starting senior 3, and we're building more dormitories. So we hope in the next 2-3 years we should have taken off.
We said, what is the name of the school?
It's called Eton College.
Eton.
Eton.
What does Eton mean?
Eton, right? It's there's a school in the UK called Eton. That's why I picked the name. It's quite a.
It's Eton, not even though I'm saying Eton College. No.
It's quite a high-performing school, and that's my vision for this school. I want it to
perform in
high-performing, and every child who comes to that school
should be different,
knowing that they've got a future just for attending that school.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you are able to take your child to Bujiri, go support Eton College, a school that has been built with love. And if you have loved Anne's story, you clearly have been able to tell that if you take your child to that school, you'll be supporting Anne's memory. It's one of the things she wanted to do, to see the school grow and flourish. And I am so thankful for your time, reminding you that Paint For You is the place where you can buy your paint. And if you are not able to pick your paint, they do deliveries. Call 0772 987 442. That is Paint For You. They are in Boyogere. They sell all paints, any type of paint, even if it is auto paint, decorative paint, interior, exterior, colors, whatever is confusing you, they got your back. And then reminding you that my show is produced by Stuart of Clap Records. You want live streaming for your family events, you have a wedding, whatever it is that you have, call 0752 61 pardon my son. Okay, 616614. That is the number. I'll read again the number for you. It's after school hours, so somehow my son got to pass and make his face known to the world. But I'll read the number again for you, 0752 616614. That is Stuart of Clap Records, and then you can have them. Thank you so much for the show. for being here, reminding you that if you're looking for any finishing material, are you looking for tiles, are you looking for a sink, whatever it is that you are looking for, you can go to Nakasero. These people got you, Nakasero Capital Shoppers Plaza. You'll be able to get Building Experts Uganda. Now, Building Experts Uganda, new tiles, imported, Ugandan made, whatever it is that you are looking for, you can call 0392 914 256. Those are our beautiful, our great guests of the day. Do leave me a message leave me a message on YouTube or WhatsApp me if you have any feedback. And I do hope if you took away anything from Patrick's resilience, it was how to face your pain and not to give up, and to keep going and to stay standing strong. Most importantly, to be good to your family, to be good to your friends, to create a supporting system, to stand with the people that stand with you. Stand with people, even if they don't stand with you, because you never know when you need them to stand with you. Take good care of yourself. This is the Deweyi Drive. We're here daily, coming to you live on YouTube. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you. Jesus.